Welcome to Gregorian Chat.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast, Gregorian Chat. Coming back at you with that real Catholic banter.
That's right.
That's
The boys are back in town. Last week we had like an overflow of estrogen. That's nice.
Overdose is probably a better word there. Anyway, welcome back to this very manly podcast where we talk about the things that matter to young Catholics and Christians
Just people everywhere.
and just people everywhere. But anyway, it's good to be back, Dom.
Yeah, how have you been, man?
Welcome. I've been good. I've been sailing for the last 3 days as part of my teacherly duties.
Oh wow. Well,
St. Paul's.
I know what teaching was like when I was at school, but we didn't go sailing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all fun and games. There have been very difficult times.
On a boat.
Behavioural management. Oh, not on the boat, like in class.
Oh, yeah.
Behavioural management with some young boys. But it's good.
Wearing a tie.
I'm wearing a tie. I have to wear a tie every day. St. Paul's College, a little bit of a shout out there.
Oh yeah.
My college.
St. Paul's.
But it's very good. I'm enjoying it.
That's good. That's
I'm enjoying
good.
it. How's chaplaincy been?
It's going good. We actually first year ever we've had a Catholic students group.
Hey.
So if you're in an Auckland Catholic Tertiary student, then you can join the Auckland Catholic Tertiary Students group. Just come to Newman Hall. Just come check us out.
Also known as ACTS.
Acts, yes, Acts of
Not
the
X,
Apostle.
like X.
Yeah. Not like the Acts we got over there. Anyway, so we've been busy doing that all week, and we've got Stations of the Cross coming up on the 30th of March. If you want to get involved, contact me. Please. But yeah, just been pretty busy, just getting back at it. It's just heaps of fun doing podcasts with Shauna and stuff like that. I got recognised the other day.
In mass or something?
Yeah.
Recognised by someone who'd seen the podcast, right?
Yeah, I believe her name was Sarah, so if you're watching, Sarah, shout out.
Sarah.
Yeah, that was super exciting. I felt like a celebrity.
Yeah? In mass?
At the end of mass. It was like,
Okay.
side
I
of
was gonna
peace.
say, it's a bit of a...
No. Yeah.
It's like, yes, you are. You just did the awkward handshake that you guys talked about.
Yeah, I recognize that.
I'm really looking forward actually to filming our part 2.
Yes, we
Awkward
need to
Signs
get
of
around
Peace.
with that, yeah.
Also, random thoughts in mass. That's going to be another one that we're
Yes,
going to do.
super exciting. So
Keep
we
an
need
eye
to get
for that
around
one.
to doing that. Probably in the student.
Who knows? Sometime.
Break.
We'll see. I want to commit to this podcast because I think it's really great.
Yes.
While also succeeding at being a teacher. But anyway, it's good to be back. It's good to be here in this episode where we are talking about Black Panther, the new Marvel movie, which has been leaving waves, I guess.
It's been controversial.
It's been controversial.
It's been revolutionary, and it's been controversial. I think. Well, from what I've heard in America,
Yeah.
I feel really distanced from everything that happens in America, with the racial problems and stuff like that. I understand that it happens and it's not good, but not being there, I don't fully get it all.
Yeah.
Personally.
And that's actually, I think there's a good standpoint for us to take, is we're free to discuss these issues, but obviously
Yes.
in this discussion, as we go on from this point, I think it's good to keep in mind that we don't, this is not necessarily a movie that's intended for us, so we might interpret it differently from the people for whom it's intended for.
As ever, we're talking about something we have no idea about.
Well, we both watched the movie.
Yeah, we watched
anyway.
the movie. Yeah, we can only talk about the movie
But anyway,
from our
yeah.
perspective.
But I think this podcast is a good lead on from the last podcast that Dominic and I did together, which was...
Reverse racism is a thing. Yeah,
That's right.
Apparently it is a thing.
And we did get a comment on YouTube, and we're still getting around to replying to that. But it is a big question. It's like, how can everyone participate in this discussion, white people included? That's what I want to know as a white person. But also, what is there like reverse racism in this movie? Maybe is this movie a Black Lives Matter movie? Is it kind of like a flagship movie for the civil rights movement or Black Lives Matter movement? I don't know.
First things first. What was your initial impression of the movie, Black Panther?
I remember thinking back actually to it was like one of the was it Captain America movies or Avengers movies where Black Panther was introduced?
Oh yeah, it was Avengers.
Yeah, and thinking, man, I really wasn't paying attention to this guy's character when he was introduced.
Yeah.
And he didn't really seem that cool because he didn't really seem that cool. A lot of people thought he was awesome, but without all the Wakanda stuff, where he was from,
yeah.
I don't know what it is about necessarily the fact that he's a prince or he's a king, becomes a king of this like amazing nation that no one knows about, and they're like basically the richest people on earth and the most technologically advanced people on earth, and there's this big like paradigm shift
Yes.
that happened for me when I watched Black Panther. My initial reaction was like, this character wasn't that cool at first, but like Captain America in the first movie. But then when you watch Captain America 2, I was like, oh, actually this guy has a lot more substance.
I see.
What were yours?
Well, my initial reaction was I was kind of worried it was going to be like a kind of a reactionary movie.
Oh yeah.
Because of all the hype I heard about it from the States, and there was like, I think there was cinemas that were shut down and stuff like that. Like
Really?
people weren't allowed in, and there was caused riots or something. I don't know. I wasn't fully paying attention. Anyway, I heard there's lots of reactions in the States. People didn't like it, or people really did like it, and so I thought, oh my gosh, what's this going to be? Is this just going to be another like? Is this going to be a horrible thing? Is it going to be a negative thing? And then I was thinking about it. I was like, because I don't know anything about the Black Panther character. Obviously, there's comic books that have been going around for like decades. But I was thinking about it, I was like, have they just created like a superhero that's just better than everyone else? And because I was thinking like he's super rich, he's richer than Tony Stark, he's more intelligent than Tony Stark, he's got better tech than Tony Stark, and you know Iron Man's kind of like a pillar of the like Avengers Assemble, right? And they're like, have they just like this guy's much better, you know? And after watching the movie, I was like, nope. It was freaking awesome. It was like the best ever. I don't know if it's the best Marvel movie ever. It's definitely up there. But it was a great movie. I just loved it.
So I mean, what exactly did you love about it? Because I guess like just briefly, what were the main things that stood out?
What I did love about it is that it raised awareness for me, for someone that's not from the States, about the problem that's going on in America for black people. It did it in a really good way, and it also provided like a kind of the beginnings of a solution. It's like, how do we go forward from here? It gives you that suggestion of how to go forward from here, which I thought was really good. And that's like the character of T'Challa, just seeing him go through this kind of like struggle of like, oh my gosh, like African people are in this terrible situation, and
Frickin' people.
and they're going through this terrible situation, and like it's like I need to do something about it, but what?
And at the same time, like Wakandans, they are and they aren't African people, you know, and that comes out a lot in the movies. It's like
yes,
there's almost and there's this elitism thing, which is not necessarily intended as elitism, but it's more of like a protective stance. But anyway, we'll get into that. I think what I really loved about this movie was they did a lot of, just like the technology they had was dope. I thought it was a good storyline. It was like definitely a coming of age movie. He's a prince, and you know he wins that first fight, and they're like, oh cool, respect. But then there's this other challenge. Oh, spoilers by the way. There's this other challenge that he loses. You know.
Yeah.
And it definitely is Lion King.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, and so he actually really struggles, and then the people have to, you know, like I think it was a pretty good progression, and then there was also that kind of back and forth between Wakanda and the US, and so I thought there was a good amount happening. I really liked the fact that there were two villains, so the fact that you kind of see Andy Serkis's character, can't remember his name now,
South African fella.
Anyway, and then there's also, you know, as the story goes through, you kind of realize, well, he's not the main villain. He's not the main problem. It's this guy who's come from within Wakanda.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah. Or who hasn't actually? He'd never actually been to Wakanda.
No. Yeah.
Turns out. But anyway, I thought that was good. Some good narrative development. But yes, I also recognised in the film like a few parts where I thought, like someone, no names mentioned. You know, some people will hear that and they'll go, they hate white people, and what they're trying to do is make white people feel very uncomfortable, and then trying to make black people very proud of their history, but also not proud of their history, and trying to get them to forget history and then start again, you know. And so as I was watching it, there were times like, you know, someone had mentioned a line like, this is the way forward, we need to, you know, weaponize, basically. I think it's the bad guys. Like, we need to weaponize, and we need to restart history, and this time we'll be on top.
Yeah.
So that was when I was like, okay. Is this like a Black Lives Matter kind of movie?
Well, yeah, because the big thing that I have is like, it's like being from like the millennial generation, I guess. I haven't lived through any of like this, like for big as well being from England. I haven't lived through any of this like abject racism, which is absolutely awful. And I don't know enough about it, and but so for me, I was like, I just try to take people as they come, and however, like, I'm a white guy and I walk into a situation where people are like, actually no, white people are terrible because they did all this in history. And I was like, I didn't, but I understand it's terrible. But from this movie, it made me realize it's like, actually no, we do need to be aware of what's going on. Yeah. It's a case of we need to be like, it's not a case of we need to change history. History's happening. Yeah. We need to be aware of history so that when we do move forward, we don't repeat it. And so, because like I hear about like there's black people all over the world, like they move from Africa, and like there's massive problems in with the slave trade and stuff like that. But like places like Italy, apparently there was no problem, no one cared. Like there's interracial marriages straight away, no one cared about it. And so like obviously they've got different the black people have different histories in different countries, different continents. Sure. But I think it's good to be aware of these things, not hyper aware, so then you're not hypersensitive, but like definitely be aware so that like you can relate to these people on some level, relate to those people that have been hurt and stuff. One thing I thought was really powerful was at the end when Michael B. Jordan's character Killmonger says, he wanted to be cast into the sea because then he'd be with his ancestors who knew that it was better to die than to live in bondage. Yeah. And I thought that was a really powerful line. That was really crazy. It's like, because part of me was like, T'Challa was like, we can heal you and you can live amongst us. But he knew that he couldn't let go of what his whole life had been around. And I'm not advocating like, jumping into the sea or anything like that, but like, it was an interesting, for me, very powerful point to understand the pain that's been caused. Yeah.
But and at the same time, they're asking you to understand the pain, but also to say, okay, have you come into this movie really angry about these issues? Have you come into this movie with a bit of a beef, a lot of a beef? Have you come into this movie thinking, my ancestors have really been mistreated and therefore I need to retaliate? And as black people, we need to unite. We need to take over, basically. And I feel like what this movie is doing is saying, if you fall into that category, then firstly we just want to recognize what you're going through, but also what we want to say is like that's the solution is not violent resistance. It's not. Yes. It's not violent reaction. No. The solution is is working together. And I guess in Wakanda's case, they have all these resources, and they have so much to give the rest of the world. And I guess if you look at that as an analogy, it's like, well, yeah, like black people around the world obviously have so much to give to the world, but for generations and for ages they've been told that they don't have something. They've been disenfranchised in a sense. And so I guess this movie its main purpose is really trying to enfranchise those people and be like, you have so much to give.
Yeah, create a new age. Because like I said, like with Martin Freeman's character, rather than him being like a pitied white man in this like African kind of race that's like vastly superior, they recognized actually this is a person of value. He's a person with skills, and he can help us. Yeah. And it's like, I think it's looking at that humanity of everybody. And it's like if you as a white person or of looking at someone from a different nation to you, so Indian, Chinese, Filipino. I mean, we're in Auckland, so it's like you see that all the time. It's like we've got to I suppose it's very Catholic in that sense. It's looking, it's like this is a human being. This isn't as Morgan Freeman says, it's like let's not. He said, I'll stop calling you a white man, and you stop calling me a black man. Yeah. So actually, no, you are a person. You're a human being. Yeah. And you are valuable. You have dignity and you have skills, and together we can make this world an amazing place if if we just engage on that level. And I think that's a really powerful thing that came through. I mean, and sometimes it's a bit like, yeah, but King T'Challa had like amazing technology and was super rich, so of course he can do something. But like, even Martin Freeman's character, who in that situation was, you know, weak and poor, like they saved his life, and he was in a foreign nation, and he, you know, with technology he didn't know how to use. It's like he's still able to give back, and I think that's the message for us all. Is like, actually, I can do something.
Yeah.
What can I do? And then look for that. And I mean, maybe you don't have to dedicate your whole life to it, but like when you're in a situation where you meet someone of a different race or a different religion or a different country, you don't think, oh, it's them. You think, oh, an opportunity for a relationship.
Yeah, I think as well, like this movie really is a celebration of a lot of black culture, and there even a lot of references, you know, to different things in black culture, and especially the like, what are those, you know, for the shoes thing, and some of the music selection and that kind of stuff. And so I guess one of my questions and one of my concerns about this movie going into it was like, is it going to be one of those cases of like, let's celebrate, you know, black culture? It's like, here, celebrate it, like shoving it down your throat. In the same, I was like, is it going to be that in the same way that like Pride Parade is done in Auckland, you know, like, which is like you walk into a supermarket, all of a sudden literally everything in Ponsonby is in that supermarket is gay. Like it's got a gay thing on your muffins. It's got it's just way too much. And is it overcompensating for what they're trying to get at, which is like this, I guess, Black Lives Matter, like trying to say black people have dignity. But the problem that people have encountered with that argument, which is like, you're right, like black people matter, white people matter. Like, no, don't say white people matter, black people matter. It's like, but white people matter too. And they're like, well, no, but that's not what we're talking about. And so I was worried that this movie would be a bit like that. Like, and to be honest, like a few times in the film, there were like things that were symbolic of that. So when Martin Freeman's character was like, well, you can't speak here. Don't you speak or I'll feed you to my children. And then like kind of, and there are a lot of jokes about, like this useless white man who doesn't know anything, and a few things like that. And so I think a lot of people would watch this film and get threatened. But like, I guess I don't know what I would really say in regards to that.
I think it's you got to be aware of what you're carrying into the movie. And it's like you got to be aware of what you're carrying into every situation. If you like, you see a bunch of like, you know, colored people, black people, you know, Indian people, and you walk over and think, okay, they're Indian and I'm not, so I'm going to go in very aware that I'm not of the same nationality as them. You're going to fall over, you're going to stumble, you're going to make mistakes. If you just go in and say, hey, there's a bunch of guys, let's go and talk to them, make friends with them, and, you know, see what they want to do. It's like, again, it's treating like a person rather than like putting up barriers for ourselves. I mean, like, again, because, you know, if you go into this movie kind of pumped up about, black Americans have been like under oppression for so many years, you get on there, you get so hyped up by the Michael B. Jordan's character, because you could just relate to it so much, and you'd be like, get him, and you come out and you've missed the point of the movie, which is, no, we can make this right.
Absolutely. Right. And I think I just spent the last 3 days on a yacht with 25 boys from Tonga and Samoa from high school, and I guess looking at that in relation to this movie is, these boys have so much culture and so much history. They're really proud of it. They sing about it all the time. They did a haka as we came back into port, and like, I think I realized at various points on that trip, it's like, there's no point in me pretending to be of their culture. Like a couple of times where you kind of want to, you know, get alongside and kind of tell the jokes that they would want to tell, and I'm like, that's actually not me, and they actually respect me more when I'm just myself, you know, and they respect that I'm not necessarily wanting to intrude on what they're doing. Like I'm allowed to appreciate it. They weren't going to take that away from me, and so I think you're right. Like the moral of this movie that comes out towards the end, especially, is like, hold on, like that's not what this movie's about. We can actually find our way through this. My gosh, we've already used up our 20 minutes.
There you go. Yeah, it's a great movie. You should definitely go and watch it. Go and watch it. It's got, I guess, very Catholic themes by accident.
Is that right?
Well, in that it's got the human dignity, showing of virtue.
The Eucharist, you know, by eating that magical flower.
No.
No? Gives you superhuman strength. And
I guess in a way.
I'm reaching for analogies here, but anyway.
And I think, you know, if we wanted to take something away from the social justice way, it's to like be aware that you can do something,
Yeah.
And it's about working with people and seeing everyone as a person before you see them as a race.
Amen.
Amen. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you very much.
It's been great doing a podcast with you, bro.
Man, it's always good. It's always a good time.
It's
always a good time. See you later.
God bless. Hey guys, thanks for watching the podcast. I've got good news. It just got a whole lot easier to search for us online.
All you gotta do is search Gregorian Chat into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and Player FM for those who are on Android.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you later. God bless.